Hey, what's up guys? Stephen, the Salon Guy here, and today I'm doing a new haircutting tutorial. I got a special request. This actually got a number of requests for this. The Julianne Hough hairstyle. Now I think her hair is actually a little bit longer, but I got a lot of requests for her when she had shorter hair, that nice bob with some nice kind of flipped out layers to it. So I'm excited to do this. Let's get started. So this haircut is not as difficult as you may think. It's really just a long bob with some layers here, and the layers are somewhat texturized. So, you know, I'm going to show you guys how to achieve it. What I'm doing now is I'm establishing the length. So in some of her pictures, her hair, when she's got it short of that medium length bob, it really just goes right around the neckline. So what we're going to do is establish, okay, this is our length right here, say just about to the nape here, and I'm just using my comb, no tension whatsoever, and I'm creating a one length straight line here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally bring everything down to this one point here, which is going to be my guide in the back. So you guys can follow along if you want, but ideally this is basically what we're really starting out with, is creating a one length shape right now, just to have this established here. I'm going to bring everything down to here, connect this into the sides, and then we'll start layering. Alright, now that we've established the length in the front and the sides here, okay, we've got that done. Now we're going to work on the layers, okay? Now for the layers, what we're going to do is really try to follow the head shape. Again, she doesn't have too many layers. It's actually right through out the bottom here. So what you want to do is really just lightly remove some of the weight. Alright, and we'll do that by just following the head shape around. So take your section, follow it all the way throughout the head shape. So we did it throughout the top. Now we're holding it straight out, which people always like to refer to it as, you know, degrees. So we're holding it 90 degrees, which is pretty much straight out from the head. I don't always necessarily like to go by degrees, because what if it's 93 degrees or like the group 98 degrees? I'm kidding. But, you know, just hold it straight out from the head, really, what it comes down to. Alright? And work that all the way into the nape, just so you have a little bit of weight removal, but nothing too heavy. Alright? Nothing too crazy as far as going super short. So follow this on, follow the same pattern. Okay, you're going to be going from section to section, not bringing everything towards the center, but basically pulling it all straight out. So you're using your previous guide as previous section as your guide. So you're traveling along the back of the head. So I'm going to continue to do this in the back, and then I'm going to show you a cool trick that I think is really going to work well for this particular type of layered haircut. I finished with the layers, and here, as you can see, is where the layers fall. So even though I cut them a little bit longer, there is still that movement, and I cut it so that you can flip it out, because in her hairstyles, many times you see it's kind of loose and flowing, and it's got some nice flips to it. But here is what I'm going to do, which I think is really going to help with your future haircuts and also this particular technique. So what I'm doing is I'm holding it straight out from the head, alright? And actually a little bit lower elevation towards the bottom here, but I'm literally pulling it straight out, and what that's doing is I'm checking for balance, okay? I'm checking for balance just to make sure that everything is pretty even, but also I like cutting it this way horizontally, just because it actually kind of sets the hair up to have a nice little flip throughout the bottom here, and it loosens up the hair so it's not so thick, and you actually have some more layers in it throughout the bottom, but in a way where it blends really nicely so that it's not too heavy, and it removes some of the weight. So I'm just going to continue up the head this way, holding everything pretty much straight out. Alright, and you can see underneath there's a little bit of hair needs to come off, so I'm just point cutting into this just to loosen up the weight a little bit so it's not too heavy, but also so that this gives me a nice kind of flip and softer layer throughout the back here. If I say, example, you do want to have some areas that do want to be flipped up, and this removes a lot of the weight, which allows for that type of shape. So just bring down this one last section here, comb it all back, pull it straight out kind of from the head, a little bit lower elevation like this, because again the layers are lower. Comb it straight back, hold it horizontally, and there's the longer bits, and just chip into it, use point cutting, and then everything should be nicely balanced. Now let's take a look and see what that did. Okay, look at that. See what that did? It actually allowed for it to have a little more movement in through here, but it also removed some of the weight. So I love this technique, and I would highly suggest doing it when you're doing a shorter bob and you're looking to have some more movement to it. I'm going to do that on this side, then we're going to come in and do the layers on top. Now that we have the back done, we're ready to connect the back with the top. Again, this is something that you see me do lots and lots of times. All right? So here's our guide right here. Here's what needs to come off. Let everything, all the hair fall out until no hair falls out anymore. That's your guide. Okay? We're going to continue this just on the top back part of the head so that everything blends in. Let the hair fall out. There it is. This way you're not creating a weight line, because if you cut too much hair, you're going to create a weight line. So there's the guide. What I'm going to do is continue this throughout here. Then I'm going to cut the top just like I've done, or you guys might have done in other haircuts where you're holding it straight out from the head. Well, I'm going to do the same thing here. Now we can work horizontally on the top of the head, and we're going to do that by bringing everything straight up. Take a piece from your previous section that you cut at the back, that you connected. Alright, that's your guide, because remember, you blended the back into the top, and you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see the guide, and there it is right there. So cut it straight across. You're going to work your way towards the front, and this should be, you could probably take 1 to 2 sections, which would be your last sections. And the very, very front, there's the guide right there. And there you have it. If you want, you can, just to make sure that you're balanced and everything is pretty even. Well, you want it to be as even as possible, but this is a good trick to make sure that everything is pretty balanced. When you actually go straight down the middle, like this, hold it straight up, and everything is actually even. That is a great way to show yourself that you're really, really even and on point with your cuts. Alright? That is a great way to check balance. Now, let's get right into the sides. Okay? For the sides here, what we're going to do, very simple. You've seen me do this a bunch of times. Hold it straight out from the head. There's the corner, there's the guide, and cut the corners off. Okay? There we go. Continue this all the way throughout this side, working to the front. You want to over-direct back just a little bit towards the front hairline. Alright? That's going to ensure that you're not going to cut any holes or anything by over-directing. Do the same thing on this side. I actually like to come around this way. Alright? There you can see. There it is. Continue to pull straight out from the head. You're cutting off the corners, which is eliminating the weight that you have in the sides. We'll take 2 more sections here. Sorry for the elbow. Alright, and one last section towards the front here. Pull it straight back like this. Over direct back a little bit, and there it is. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting, and what we're going to do is do the same thing in the back that we did in the back. We're going to do it on the sides here. Alright, now remember what we did in the back where we held everything straight out? Let's do the same exact thing on the sides, because we do want to eliminate some of that weight on the sides. So, don't go too too low because you don't want to cut too much of it. You don't want to cut any of the length, so you want to elevate it just a little bit, because once you elevate, you start to remove weight. So bring it almost not straight out, not 45, yeah, I guess like a 45-degree angle. Then we're going to follow this up the head shape. Okay, so now we're raising the section a little bit. Okay, and we're just removing that weight, that excess weight. It's okay if hair falls out throughout the bottom, because you're not really supposed to cut that anyway. Okay, we're removing weight here. Again, you can chip into this point cut, which I'm going to start to do now, because you want to keep that solid line throughout the bottom, because that is your baseline. I'm going to do this all the way up the head shape, just like I did in the back. Alright, and you might really not have much hair to come off, which is good. But this also will set the hair up to have a little less heaviness into the sides here, and it will allow it to flip out a little bit better. And now again, she wears it on the side here. She has a side part, I'd say almost all the time. But again, just want to make sure that this is going to have the proper movement in the hairstyle. Okay, so there we have it. We've got the flips now. There it is, as you can see. Remove some of that weight in through here. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, I finished with the layering on the sides. What I want to do is just bring this all straight up vertically now. And I just want to make sure everything is well balanced. So I'm just going to point cut into everything here. Everything really is on point. It's very well balanced. We've got the movement we need. Remove the weight. So we're really in good shape. All right, just get rid of these knots here. All right, there we go. Everything is really, I won't want to change a thing or alter a thing. But what I am going to do, all right, as we can go right down into here, is I am going to check out what we have going on through here, the front. All right, I'm going to create a little bit of a face frame, and I'm going to do that with using a feather razor. All right, I just also want to soften this up a little bit. It's a little heavy into here. All right, but I want to create a little bit of a slight face frame. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take all of this section, the whole side of the head here like this. Okay, see? And I'm just going to notch into it like that. That's it. I really want to loosen this up here, create some movement, some more texture into the sides, so that it does have that free-flowing capability to flip, if we want to flip it out. Now, I'm just going to come in through here in the front, like this. Take the razor. Remember, wherever you start is where the guide is going to. So if you start up here, that piece of hair is going to fall right here. So let's start halfway up there and just slide down like that. Okay? And there we go. See that? Open that up in a very smooth, sleek way. Let's do the same thing on this side. Again, comb it straight down. Take all that hair in one section and just notch into it. And how I'm doing that is I'm literally pointing into it this way. All right? When you're doing that, you're creating more separation and texture. All right? When you lay the razor flat, you're removing a lot of excess weight. So I'm looking to kind of do a little bit of texturizing because we did remove a lot of weight when we layered it. So here is our guide from before. There it is from with the razor. And what I'm going to do is just slide down in through the front and then work it in through the sides here. There we go. All right. And if you need to go back in to clean it up, then blend it in. And there it is. Okay. There's that front piece right there. Look at that. See? Great. The haircut pretty much is complete. Now I'm going to blow dry it, and then we'll come back and see what we have. All right, now with the blow dry, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to really go in and rough dry it with my hands. All right, just to really get a lot of moisture out, use my hands. Then what I'm going to do is when it's pretty much all dry, I'm then going to take a round brush, and I'm going to actually start to flip some of this out through here. I've been using some new brushes. This is the iTech brush. It's a ceramic magnetic brush, anti-static. You can get this from hairartproducts.com. Also, all my mannequins I get from hairartproducts.com. The best mannequins on the market. So I'm going to go ahead and start drying this with my hand, rough drying it, and then I'm going to use that brush and start flipping out the bottom here. I just want to show you guys something now. Look at this. See this? This is really just from the haircut and just from my hands. When you get more advanced with cutting and more experience, this really is when, you know, if you're professional, is when you can really start charging, you know, good money for your work, and you can really feel confident that you know what's going to happen. When you can start to get this shape in there, basically purely by the haircut, because you know exactly what you're doing to cut it to get it to look like this, you know, that's what makes a difference. Okay, and that's when you understand how you can work hair. So I didn't use any brush yet. This literally is just with my hands. All right, so I'm going to continue to work this in, and then we'll use the brush and we'll take a look and see what we have when we're done. All right, here's the finished result with the blow dry now. Look at this, see? Look at that. See the beautiful flow? All right, see that? That's just from the blow dry. Now, all I like to do is just kind of rake this back a little bit, just to kind of break this up a little. But there you go. See? Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. You can then rake your fingers to it. You can just kind of work the whole style in. But there you have it. I don't want to mess with it too much more. You can use a little bit of a shine product if you want. You know, add a little gloss to it. It's totally up to you. This right here is top secret. This is the tester oil for my SalonGuy hair care. All right, this is imported. It smells great. But if you may or may not know, I'm coming out with my own hair care line with a few great products. But this is one of them. So I'm just kind of testing it right now. But it's a very, very beautiful light hair oil. It's great for finishing. Very, very soft. It's got a lot of natural ingredients. It's imported with you know, a beautiful working tight texture. So it's not very heavy at all. It does the job just right. So here you have it. I think it looks gorgeous. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep the requests coming. Leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all this at TheSalonGuy. I'll see you all soon for more tutorials, and thanks for all your support. Take care.